I think the best way to find detachment and find not self-love, because that's such a broad spectrum idea, but to find self-acceptance and to find self-confidence and just to detach from that really anxiously attached lifestyle is to let go of the person whose love you're trying to win. It comes from somewhere, it always does. It's daddy issues, it's mummy issues, it's some kind of issues. For me, the number one step, and I think the biggest, most pivotal thing, was trying to let go of my father liking me. Growing up as a kid, you want your father to like you. You want your parents to like you. I know you know what I'm talking about. And that wound of wanting to please people, wanting to get people's approval, wanting to have affirmation from people and confirmation from people comes from the fact that, say your father, in my case, didn't see you, didn't witness you. I'm not saying he's a bad person. I'm sure he has his reasons, but he wasn't in my life. He was in my life until the age of 5. When my parents split, he wasn't interested. I don't know his reasons. He had me very young. People in Eastern Europe did at the time, so he might be a person who wouldn't act that way now, but at the time he did. And as a child, that computed to me that I have to win some kind of man's affection. And that's not, I literally didn't think of it that way. I didn't think I've got to win some man's affection, but I thought I've got to win someone's approval, someone's affection, someone's attention. And it has to be a person who I guess isn't interested in me intrinsically, just like my dad wasn't. And then once I win their approval, they'll see me and I will have won. I will have won the approval of that person who didn't see me. And that's not literally how you think of it, but that is how you try and soothe yourself and your brain. That's why we're attracted to people. Like if your father was a raging alcoholic, you'll try and subdue some kind of alcoholic. If your mother was too busy at work, you might find someone who is a workaholic and do the same thing. You will try and win love from the type of person who didn't see you. I think I got to my 30s until, do you know what healed this thing for me? Was having my own child. Having my own child and seeing my partner father my child in a way that exceeds expectation in terms of commitment, love, and his presence really took a turn where, and this is the pivotal part, I no longer want his approval or affection or attention. Honestly, literally. I feel like, you know, when they talk about first life, second life in Buddhism, like reincarnation, I feel I've now reincarnated into a different modality, a different person. So if my father was to come and be like, let's have a relationship, I literally wouldn't be mad, but I don't need it anymore. And I think that pivotal point, and I don't know how you personally can let go of that person you are trying to seek approval from, but that is the pivotal step in letting go of anxious attachment and detaching and being present in your own journey. Because once you cut the tie from that person you're trying to impress, you're going to cut the tie from the myriads of people who you kind of think emulate them, and you're going to actually be attracted to people who are secure and people who are incredible for you, as opposed to trying to emulate that relationship. The second thing that helped me become more detached, empowered, is I realized that I don't want to, nor can I, control people. And this is such a really interesting thing to think about, because essentially when you're not detached and you're attached to outcomes, you're attached to people and you're anxiously attached, your modality of your brain thinks that if I can control this situation and if I can control the outcomes of what's happening here, I will be safe. Number one, I realized you can't control other people. You're the only person you can control. But number two, and most importantly, is nor do I want to. I don't want to have the job of controlling wild, random, strange people who are in my life in order for them not to hurt me or for them to cause me to be triggered and anxious. I don't want that role. I don't want to be the metaphoric pooper scooper of people who are otherwise not competent, and I'm there trying to make them be okay in life and control them, because that control is so stressful and so tiring and so exhausting. My role is to be myself and their role is to be themselves. And if they do not want to be with me, for example, as you say in your example, they don't see me, they've ghosted me, I don't know, whatever's happening with you, let it be. It's not your job to, guard them, to control them, to guide them in the right direction. Number 3 is I realized I don't want to be loved for my performance. I don't want to be loved and seen for what I can do for somebody or who I appear to be in their life, because that anxious attachment and lack of detachment denotes that if I'm pretty enough, if I'm skinny enough, if I'm curvy enough, if I'm long-haired enough, if I'm whatever enough, if I'm smart enough, if I know enough people, if I do that thing and the other thing, you will then love me. You will then see me. If I'm popular and famous enough, if I'm this one and that one enough, you will then see me. But this is the caveat. If they see you for all these performances that you can put on, and at the end of the day, God, whoever, genie, Allah, whoever you believe in, comes down and says, all right, they now like you, but they like you for all these attributes that you have decided to gain. Your beauty, your money, whatever. Do you want them to love you for that? And that's the only thing they love you for? No, you wouldn't. You want to be loved for yourself. And I realized that if I jump through hoops for people, and if I try and perform, and if I try and be someone I'm not, I'm going to be loved for something that I'm not. And that's not what I'm here for. Number 4, I realized that changing who I am for somebody is not the key to long-term love. A lack of detachment and an anxious attachment is a fear that people are going to leave you, I suppose, right? Or that you're disposable, or the fact that you need those people. If you can't detach from people or ideas, is that you need them in order to complete you and be yourself. I realized that having that connection to that person and not being detached from them and being so anxiously attached is not the key to long-term love. The key to long-term love is genuine affection and attraction to one another and respect. So if you're there hustling, trying to make this person like you, and I know a lot of you are in situations where this person doesn't even see you. I get messages from you where it's reels and reams of these people's messages where they're disrespecting you and ignoring you. What is the outcome you're trying to have? Are you trying to negotiate with them, win them, pivot them into liking you? Do you really think that that is the solution for the long-term love? And you're afraid that somebody might leave. Is this the person, this guy Jake over here, who can't even return your phone call and is so flaky and isn't even sure about you? You think that's the guy who's going to heal that for you? He's not. Number 5 is the key is not control, it's connection. I think a lot of the lack of detachment and a lot of anxious attachment is about thinking that you can control someone because intrinsically somewhere in your life you didn't feel loved enough, somewhere in your life you didn't feel seen enough, and therefore your cure to that problem isn't to meet somebody who's going to genuinely like you back. Your cure for that is to find someone, trick them, coax them, do whatever it is that you want to do, the performance that you want to have, into making them like you. The key is not control, it's connection. The key is finding that person who you genuinely connect to, and then you can throw your hands up and go, do you know what? Even if I'm with this person for 10 years, it will be the best 10 years ever. And then if it goes wrong, it goes wrong, you know? We don't know what life holds. Things can happen that are unforeseen, even like not things like them leaving you, but just things like human things, we understand, right? People aren't permanent. We're human and we're alive, so it's just about enjoying the moment with a genuine connection, not one you've coaxed out of somebody. Number 6, morbid, but here is how I think. I realize that if I'm born alone and I die alone, then it is my duty to do the best for myself. I'm with myself when I wake up, I'm with myself when I go to bed, I was with myself through my childhood, I was with myself through the ups, through the downs. You're the same. You're with yourself through everything, and it's your duty to look after yourself. It's nobody else's duty to look after you unless it was your mother and father in your childhood, and even sometimes people like that can let you down. But I can implore you that you're with you and you will die with you. So your attachment to somebody else, and I don't mean a happy, healthy, mutual bond. I mean an attachment to someone where you can't detach, or you think about as them, the outcome of your life and who they are and who you are together. And it's this sickly feeling of if they don't reply to you straight away, you're like convulsing with fear that you will literally disintegrate into nothingness. It's your tribal brain thinking that you are extirpated, whatever the word is, exiled from the tribe and you just go into a lizard brain meltdown, understand that it's not the way. People's journeys are so vast and different, and the days are long but the years are short, and before you know it, you will have lived your story, and the only duty you have is to yourself and people who I believe you have decided to take under your wing, children, pets, whatever, who didn't have a choice of being in the matter. You owe them something, and yourself. And number 7 is I became comfortable with who I am and what I look like. A lot of the things that I positioned my self-worth on, because I guess maybe my Eastern European background, and I mean, in the world, the background of a lot of women is positioned on what they look like, but I divulged the fact that maybe I wasn't lovable or interesting or anything because I wasn't very cute. As a child, I didn't think I was very pretty, or at least I wasn't told that, so I thought, oh, do you know what, if I do Miss Universe, if I become somebody with beauty or presence, then I'll be seen and I'll be worth it. And lo and behold, I wasn't. So I did Miss Universe. I did maximize my looks to the best potential, which, by the way, is a whole other video if you want to see it. I believe beauty is manufactured and can be, it's about elegance and grace. It's not so much always about the features you have. I understand there's some features that are obviously unarguably beautiful and some that aren't, but I will say that everybody has potential, and movie stars back in the 50s and stuff, they knew that, how to maximize that, but that's a whole other video. So I just worked on who I am until I realized part of self-acceptance and confidence and love for yourself is knowing that a lot of your face holds the heritage of where you come from. Your nose shape, your face shape holds the features of people in your ancestry line who looked at each other and thought each other was beautiful at a certain point. Unless, of course, something weird happened and it wasn't consensual, but let's ignore that part. All your features, your combination of features is all these people, all this lineage of people who survived from eons and eons and nth of time, from the beginning of time. These people were intelligent enough to survive. These people were wily enough to survive. These people were tenacious enough to survive, rigorous enough to survive. And wherever they were, my ancestry is very Nordic and Arctic. So in the snow, for me, these people were surviving in the snow for me to have the audacity to not like who I am or what my face looks like. It's not always about beauty, but it's about pride of your heritage and who you are. And I think everybody should have that and carry it with pride, because your features are a combination of these people who once looked at each other and thought each other was beautiful. There is something about that. They chose each other again and again and again through ends of time to survive, and you are the result of it. Oh my God. So sometimes when you see yourself as something that is taken such a long process to create, and Jake over there is not returning your calls, you just think, do you know what, Jake? People survived in the snow to create me, and you're there not returning my call. Just, I'm going to miss you. 8, understand that the faster someone leaves, the better. A part of non-detachment and a part of anxious attachment is, oh, no, I need to convince them that I'm worth staying for. I need to convince them that I'm good enough. I need to convince them. How about we stop convincing? How about we stop convincing and we turn it into, if you're not for me, the faster you leave, the better. Like, I do not have a lifeline that is up to my elbow, around my neck, and down to my other wrist. I don't know how long all of you are living, but, you know, I think we've got under 100 and hopefully over 60 years to live, right? So, how is it that you feel the audacity to hold on to somebody who doesn't even want you? What are you doing? What are you doing trying to convince someone who doesn't want you to be with you? Why don't you celebrate the fact that they don't want you and let them go? Just let them go. Be free, birdie. Like, I am not in the business of holding anyone against their will. And again, there's some arrogance in that, where you feel you can convince someone because you feel you love them or they're for you. They're not for you. Love is consensual and mutual. If it's one way, it's not love. It's an idea. It's a proposition you have about yourself. And it's the arrogance and almost the childlike idea that if I feel I want you, then you must want me back. That's not the truth. Life isn't always going to be what you want. But please, let these people go if they want to. Let them go. Oh my God, life is not forever. And the faster they go, the faster you can find somebody that is for you. Number 9, understanding that self-possession and confidence is the key to beauty. It's not actual beauty, and it's the key to magnetism. It's not like being mysterious and cool and all these things that movies teach us to be. People that are most magnetic and most amazing and create the life they want are the people who are self-possessed and just have a calm confidence. They're the person who comes to a dinner and isn't trying to like overtalk everyone. Guys, guys, guys. It's the person who's got like a calm, cool air because they know who they are. Even when they're telling the story, they're not jumping over people to say it. If you watch an interview and if there's a couple of celebrities together on the sofa, the most magnetic one is the one who's not trying to talk over everybody. And the one who's always like trying to jump in with the jokes, trying to talk over the host. You're like, oh my God, you're so annoying. And they might not be annoying. They might be the nicest person there, but that kind of behavior turns people off. Desperation is really unattractive. I'm just going to tell you. And I want to be soft on you and I want to say, you know what, baby? If you're desperate, it's because you've been hurt. At the end of the day, the world doesn't care and the universe doesn't care. If you're desperate, you'll be served desperate. And that is the way it is. If you're desperate, things will be hard to get. It's like a law of attraction type thing. Next, I think I realized that I'd rather see who someone is than preempt their behavior. I'd rather let someone have the freedom. I'd rather detach from them and let someone have the freedom to act as they will, as messy as they will, as ridiculous as they will, be who they are, and then either judge their behavior and be like, wow, this person's really impressed me. They have nobility and humbleness and character. Or, wow, look at this swinery. The way this person's behaving is true swinehood. Actually, I like pigs, so who do I not like? I like most animals. Anyway, it's disgusting. Blech, caca behavior. And that's not for me. What we do as people who can't detach and people who want to attach to people and anxious and all this stuff is we cling on to it and we always try and like play goalie and try and preempt them actually hurting us. Don't get attached in the first place. Then when they act in this disgusting way, you're not taking it onto you. You're not like, ow, I've been hurt. You're like, ooh, that's not for me. It's like when you order in a restaurant, you're not attached to that food. It comes and you're like, ooh, that doesn't look great. You don't marry the food already. Don't shove it in your mouth before it's yours. Assess it, have a look. Send it back if you need to. Again, this is your life and this is your rules. You are the one who's looking